Hi everyone, my name is Isabella. Welcome to The Energy Effect, a podcast exploring energy conservation right here in the Tampa Bay area.
And my name is Dylan. We're both seniors here at the University of South Florida. Podcast is a part of our capstone project for 2025 and for the fall semester, and we're excited to talk a bit about the UN Global Goal 12 and responsible consumption and production. I'll pass it along to Becca.
Sounds good. Our mission is simple: to inform and inspire our community about energy conservation efforts already happening locally and to show how you can make an impact right from your own home.
So I guess let's kind of begin. We're going to go into kind of talking about the basics of conservation. So I guess, Bella, overall, what are some of the basics that conservation brings to the table? Obviously, there's a lot of different types of conservation, but what, in terms of what we're focusing on, what is kind of the basics of conservation?
Yeah, I think the basics to talk about is the first question: what is conservation? I'm going to answer the question using a well-known source that we all know, National Geographic. According to National Geographic, conservation is the act of protecting Earth's natural resources for current and future generations. And then I think the other question is, why is conservation important? Why should we care, Dylan?
Yeah, I think we should probably care because, again, it's the protection of resources. It allows us to also get a better understanding of these type of things in terms of the diversity of these ecosystems and how it actually has a big impact on the environment. I think that's such a huge thing, right? And I think that's why we're so passionate about bringing this topic to the forefront, is because of how important conservation is to our environment and how important it is for the future of our environment and how healthy it can be by having conservation efforts in place. And I think with what we're going to be doing over these next 5 episodes and how we're going to be presenting this information through our fantastic resource that is TECO, and with Byron Burrows, who is the PR director, we'll talk about him in a little bit here as we get through the first episode. But I think there's just so much that conservation brings to the table, and I think that it's so important for the future of our planet and for us as society that I think these are important topics to discuss about and bring to the forefront, and hopefully people are able to take just a little bit of this information to heart and be able to implement that within their local communities and within their area.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that, conservation is necessary to have future generations and the future of our environment to prosper.
Absolutely.
It's no surprise that humans have overexploited much of Earth's natural resources and land. Due to that, we have pollution, we have habitat destruction, we have climate change. All these impacts have led to biodiversity loss, as according to National Geographic, and just what you can see from the comfort of your own home. And I think conservation here in Tampa Bay is essential. Why do I think it's essential that we are focused on conservation specifically in our home area of Tampa Bay? It's vital to the region's environment, economy, and water supply. Conserving our natural environment here in Tampa Bay is critical for habitats like our seagrass as well as our mangroves, and it supports diverse wildlife and fisheries, which provides natural protection against storms. We have huge, horrible hurricanes here. We're surrounded by water. If we keep destroying our mangroves and our seagrass, we're not going to have that natural protection anymore. More so, it safeguards the water supply for over 60% of residents. We drink our water from our underground. These benefits are all interconnected, as environmental health directly supports economic activities such as tourism and fishing, and ensures a reliable, clean source of energy and water for the community.
Yeah, and I think you mentioning that, how important Florida is in terms of as a tourist area,
100%.
Tourist state, and obviously a lot of people don't understand how important the beauty is of this state. And I think by implementing energy conservation efforts and by explaining this to everybody out there who's listening to us, I think it's going to be important, even more so, not even for people within the state, but I think for people who are coming through the state, whether they're visiting or whether they're even moving into the state of Florida, to understand the importance of energy conservation is going to be super important moving forward. And that honestly kind of goes into our next kind of topic a little bit, is what would a world look like if we did have conservation and if we didn't have conservation? Because I think a world without conservation, definitely there's a lot of things that could be really, really I guess would be the big word to use, critical, that could affect how our environment changes, and that could really affect in a negative way. So I guess I'll begin with you. What are just some ways that energy conservation with and without it is, what are kind of some of those ways that they're important?
Yeah. It's like, let's picture, two worlds for a second. So I'll explain the world with conservation using, the green energy effect here. Cities like Tampa would run on clean energy, homes would be energy efficient, waste would be minimal, and people would make mindful choices about how they consume. Overall, there would be no carbon footprint left from humans on our natural environment from there. What about a world without conservation? What would that look like to you, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'll have a lot more fossil fuels being implemented. It's definitely, there would be a lot of air quality, like a lot of negative effects with air quality. It would obviously worsen. Natural habitats would be affected, 100%. Extreme weather. There'd be just a lot that would be negatively affected, and that's just, I honestly, it's not even, it's almost just common things, like it's things that with
that would easily happen without conservation.
Especially in this world where you have a lot of fossil fuel driven cars and a lot of different things being implemented. In terms of with the usage of fossil fuels, it would definitely be a lot of an impact. So I think having energy conservation involved at a very higher level than maybe it is now is super important in order to keep those type of things out of our ecosystems and out of our environment, because it will negatively affect it, and that will also create a negative effect for not only the animals and the actual wildlife and a lot of that type of stuff that we enjoy and we love getting to see and such, but also us as well as humans. It will negatively affect us for breathing all that in. It could really cause a lot of bad, harmful things. So it's definitely important for sure.
Yeah, it would affect us. We already have extreme weather. Without conservation, the weather would get worse, like we stated before. If our mangroves and our seagrass just keep getting ruined by us burning these fossil fuels at such a high rate, I mean, we don't have that natural protection anymore. Conservation's not just for the animals around here at Tampa Bay anymore, it's for us. And it's a simple choice, but change can only happen with action. 100%. I think it's time for us, look ahead, Dylan, towards what, we've let you guys know what's conservation, why is it important, and what's a world with or without conservation. It's pretty simple, I would say, that we need it. We need action, we need conservation. I mean, if you love your home and you love your life here, it's time to get, to business. So Dylan, could you kind of show us what looking ahead's going to look like in terms of our podcast?
Yeah, as we mentioned, we're going to have 5 episodes here coming up. Obviously, this is episode 1. We do appreciate for everybody who is listening to episode 1 and kind of joining us on this little journey that we're going to go through here over these next few weeks. We're really excited. We got Byron Burrows coming on, the PR director of TECO. TECO is one of the biggest energy names within the Florida area, within the state of Florida, and even here in the Tampa Bay community. They're very, very a very big focal point in terms of energy and in terms of energy conservation. So Byron was fantastic to give us the time and gracious enough to be able to talk to us about energy conservation. And I think he brought up a lot of great content and a lot of great stuff. So I'm really looking forward for everybody to listen in to see what he has to bring. Again, TECO is doing such an amazing job with what they're bringing to the table. And that's the great thing about it. We're from University of South Florida. We're from Florida. To be able to bring something that's local, to be able to bring something that is relatable per se, is going to be super cool, and I think going to be very will resonate with everybody who's listening to us very well. Yeah. So
majority of us use TECO.
Yes, exactly. Most people know what TECO is. Most people have it in their homes in some capacity, or they're involved in their homes, or even just even out and about. People are going to see TECO on signs and everything like that. So TECO is very involved here in the state, and especially in this area. So we're excited to get to talk to Byron. Get to really share a lot about what TECO is doing as a group, with kind of our global goal in mind as well. So we're looking forward to having him on, and looking forward to being able to talk a lot about kind of the sustainable efforts and the energy conservation efforts that they are doing. And I think it's going to be fun. People should tune in.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, our next 2 episodes, we're going to be introducing Byron from TECO. He's got a lot of insights about us, about what companies are doing in terms of conservation in the Tampa Bay area. However, during our podcast, we're also going to be sharing ways that you can get involved.
Absolutely.
From home energy habits to community programs, just ways that, you know, these big companies like TECO, their home base is here. Yes, they do a lot for us, but like we said, action needs to be done by the majority of the population.
Yeah.
So towards the end of the podcast, we're really going to be diving into the personal basis of how you can help in terms of energy conservation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of fun to have Byron on the show, and everybody can tune in. We do appreciate you guys listening to us here for episode 1. We hope that you're able to check us out for episode number 2, episode 3, 4, and as we conclude episode number 5 as well. You can follow us on our Instagram page at @theenergyeffect_ for updates. We'll have content. We'll have little clips of some of our interviews with Byron here coming up, as well as maybe some clips here from this first episode. So stay tuned. A lot of exciting stuff coming out here over the next couple weeks. I'm excited to join you, Bella, in this process, and it should be a lot of fun. I think this is something we're both very passionate about. I think we
100%.
both take pride in this is something that's very important, not only to our state, not only to our area, but also just globally. I think this is a very important topic to discuss. So looking forward to talking with Byron, and excited to bring some great content here in the coming weeks.
I agree. Yeah, thank you, Dylan. Well, stay tuned, and remember, stay green, my friends.
Green.